Well, okay then. So, hello everyone. I'm Aleksander Boruch-Gruszecki. I'm one of the organizers, and I just wanted to say a few words before we begin. So, I didn't organize this myself. There's been 3 other people participating. Unfortunately, I don't see any of them in this room. It seems that 2 of them unfortunately had trouble coming to Splash, and one of them might be just late. So I wanted to begin with a short story. I promise it's not going to be too long. I met James Noble, another organizer, last year at Splash in Auckland, New Zealand. So he was talking to Maya Milano, another of the organizers at the time, and you know, I wanted to spend my time productively at the conference, meet some of the legends. So I walked up to James Noble and I said hi, right? I said that I'm working with Martin Oderski on this idea to track capabilities in the type system of Scala. I chatted to James Noble for like 5 minutes, and clearly he must have decided that I was a very reasonable fellow, because he told me and Maya, how about we organize IWACO, right? So that's all it took. That's how he got me, right? Sometimes that's really just how much it takes. Yeah, so that was the beginning. Those were the 3 organizers, and then Tobias Rikstad joined at some point a bit later on. And honestly, it's been great fun to organize this edition of IWACO. It's been a bit of work, sure, but it's mostly been great fun. And it's been, I mean, I'm really happy to see so many people come here to listen about the topics of the workshops, of this workshop. And I find them quite interesting, you know? Otherwise, I wouldn't be working on them. So it's aliasing capabilities and ownership. I heard this I heard the name of the workshop like 3 years ago, and back then it seemed to me like just you know, random topics that seemed to be gathered together. But actually yesterday, when I started thinking what I want to say, I noticed that all of these things, they seem quite connected. They seem intricately connected, right? So, so let's see. So let's make sure that we are on the same page. So what are capabilities? The capability is, you can think of it as an object that guards access to some functionality, right? Like an example is a file handle. You need a file handle to access the disk, right? The operating system creates it, gives it to a program. It's a capability to access the file, file system. So that's the basic idea, right? And then we have aliasing. So aliasing means tracking aliases of something, right? Knowing what are other names for some entity. But like, what entities do you want to keep track of their aliases, right? You don't want to keep track of the aliases of the integer 1. Like, clearly the entity, it needs to give you access to some functionality, right? So you want aliasing, so you invite capabilities into your system, right? Or like, you connect the 2. And ownership is the same, right? Ownership is basically a way of saying that I control the aliasing of some entity, right? Maybe I can give it out to someone, but then I take it back, right? Or maybe I can like, just decide to drop it permanently. But I own the aliases of this thing, essentially, right? And it's the same thing, right? This entity needs to be important, right? So you have one of those, and you invite the other. It's like this very interesting intertwined triangle. And it's not only interesting, like these are quite enduring concepts with a long history of research and application. I think it spans like 5 decades or more, and it's still counting, right? So it's enduring in the sense when they are like enormous areas that it's quite impossible for me to do them justice in like 15 minutes. James Noble has a session where has a talk where he covers part of the history, and it takes him like 2 hours, and he needs to zoom through everything. He basically just tells you titles of the papers. So, so there is a lot of research and work done on the topic. And it's enduring in the sense that they are very, very relevant topics. Hello, James. I mean, the world just seems to, you know, really want to have capabilities and to control their aliasing and ownership, right? I mean, the reasons which are the most salient to me right now would be safe memory management, fearless concurrency, and security in a cloud computing setting. It's basically these things, right? There's a number of high-profile ongoing projects in the area, in academia and in the industry, and there's a steady stream of research papers. So, like, I mean, this is one of the things that is still crazy to me. Rust was voted the most beloved programming language in the Stack Overflow survey, like 7 times in a row, 7 years in a row, right? So developers are basically screaming that they want more of this stuff, right? So clearly, very, very relevant topics, and the techniques, they are incredibly broad, applied to these topics. So they range from hardware solutions, there's hardware, there is language design, and there is type systems and formal verification. The span is very, very broad, right? So hopefully, I definitely hope so, this workshop should provide you with lots of opportunities to make new and interesting contacts. And if you are younger and interested in these topics, if you are a junior researcher, then I definitely hope that it will help you broaden your horizons and look for research opportunities. And I'm very happy. I mean, it's been a privilege to try and build something that will provide something like that. So I'm quite excited to hear what everyone has to say. And I hope you are as excited as I am. Welcome to IWACO.